He conseguido arreglar el aire, pero hoy no va a haber pic después de todo. D-Brawl se ha caído. Así que continuemos con esto para poder pasármelo y que haya clip. ¿Cómo que no solo Ocarina of Time? ¿Es el verdadero Ocarina of Time? I arrived at London Ranch a little after 8 AM, accompanied by my loyal guards. I remember being surprised at how quiet everything was. There was nobody there to welcome us. I could sense that something was wrong. I opened the door to the ranch house and went inside. The room was mostly empty. There was a table with some kind of crystal bottle on top of it. But in front of the table, a terrifying scene was unveiling. The defendant hacked at the ranch owner's chest with the saw she was holding. I was overcome with fear and I screamed. I will never forget what I saw that day. I heard that Talon and his daughter were incredibly kind. I cannot believe she would commit such horrible violence. Alex se suscribe con Twitch Prime por 20avo mes. Y dice, la paloma que rescate ya le han quitado el vendaje, lo toca rehabilitación a ver cómo vuela. De todas formas, lo más probable es que vaya a un santuario y me la quede yo. Nice. Pasarinho, ¿quieres salir en el stream? What? Oh my, you saw the very moment the victim was killed? There you go. Decisive testimony. As there is no need to doubt the prince's statement, I call for the judge to make a ruling right away. Hey, now hold on. I didn't get to cross-examine the witness yet. Objection, you haven't fooled because there is no need. Did you not hear one word of what I said? Didn't you just say we should follow all the procedures and treat the princess like any other witness? This is the defense's right. Te pillaron. I believe the defense has a point. They do have every right to perform a cross-examination, no matter who is testifying. I was quite looking forward to this part myself. I have only ever read about court proceedings in the Royal Library. That being said, I will not tolerate any reckless accusations towards the princess. Is that clear? Naturally, Your Honor. How am I going to cross-examine the princess? This isn't going to end well. What's gotten into the prosecutor? That seemed like a rather intense outburst. Well, I do have a guess. Oh? Because of the princess's status, it's possible that Dragmire didn't have an opportunity to discuss her testimony with her. That might mean that his testimony is a surprise even to him. This could be my chance. Before we begin, there is just one thing that caught my attention. I believe the princess mentioned seeing some kind of glass bottle at the crime scene. That will be this, I presume? Why, yes, that is exactly it. What is that? Oh, this is the bottle of perfume that father intended to give to her highness when she arrived. He quickly rode out to town to get it at the last moment. We didn't know that the princess was coming instead of the king until only about 2 hours before the visitation. Oh, how thoughtful. He really did not need to bother himself so. As fascinating as this all is, the prosecution doesn't believe it's relevant to the case. It's good to have a full picture of the crime scene. The defense requests the bottle be accepted into evidence. Bah! Desperate to latch onto every little thing, are you? Whatever. You can add it to the evidence if it will make you happy. No skin off my teeth. In that case, the court accepts this bottle into evidence. Now then, defense, begin your cross-examination. Vale. Llegué a little after 8 AM. Y era que el tipo había muerto ¿cuándo? Died no later than 8 AM. Vale, pues ahí le hemos pillado. Ahí le hemos pillado. Cuando diga I remember I concede something was wrong. I opened the door inside. The room was but in front of the table the reference was unveiling. The defendant had... Vale. Presionemos primero. You were there at the exact time of the murder, Your Highness? That is correct. That is impossible, you are lying. The defendant will curb her outburst. You are addressing royalty. This is really bad. What now? Ask about crime, the crime scene, ask about what was outside. Accuse Zelda of the crime. Ninguna de estas. Supongo que el crime scene. Where were the victim and the killer at this time? The ranch owner was in front of a little table that is directly across from the entrance door. The defendant was right in front of him and quickly fainted after her attack. A large pool of blood started forming where the victim was. I had a rather good view of the whole scene. Right. This is as unfortunate as it is fortunate that you could see the whole thing in such detail. Now please continue. Should I ask something else? Preguntemos what was outside just in case. Are you sure there wasn't anyone else at the ranch, Your Highness? No, the place looked empty. Although I did see a worker pull up a loaded wagon when a carrier came asking about milk shipments. He caused a little bit of a scene when the Sheikah force started inspecting it. That worker must have been somewhere else on the ranch, I suppose. The ranch is pretty large. Said worker was inside the building on the other side. It's quite understandable she wouldn't have seen him until later. Drat, this really doesn't give me a whole lot to work with. Should I ask something else? No, that's enough. Vale, entonces ¿dónde habría que presentar esto? Habría que presentarlo al principio. Cuando dice las 8 AM. Vamos primero a presionar. If these words were with Her Highness, why were they not called as witnesses? We did question the words, naturally. Apparently they didn't get to see anything relevant. I was the only one to enter the crime scene. After seeing what was inside, I stood guard and insisted that no one be allowed inside until the Sheikah force arrived. I have read that preserving the scene is vital. Quite correct. I'm sure the wards were absolutely thrilled with this order. Please proceed, witness. Vale, entonces ahora volvemos aquí. Court record. Presentar autopsy report. Your Honor, Your Highness, I believe I've found something that doesn't quite match up with the facts. How dare you question the princess? You will let the defense speak, prosecutor. I think this is why he so desperately wanted to prevent this cross-examination now. Your Highness, you stated that you arrived at the ranch shortly after 8 AM, correct? Yes, the visit was scheduled for 8:30 exactly, but we were quite a bit early. I see, that makes something you mentioned quite impossible. As stated by the autopsy report, the victim definitely died before 8 AM. You couldn't have seen the defendant attack the ranch owner because the victim was already dead by then. Order, order! Yes, you have really caught her in a lie. Your Highness, what is the meaning of this? While I wholeheartedly respect and serve the crown, I will nonetheless not tolerate lies in my court. I have not lied, I suppose I did not see the exact moment it happened. I guess I only thought I did. Princess, this is a matter of life and death. I definitely saw the defendant there, though, along with the body. There is no one else who could have done it. I remember all of the other details correctly. The body's on the floor, the pool of blood. You have to believe me. Perhaps it will be best if Her Highness revises her testimony. That's not good. There's still not enough doubt to overturn this testimony. I will have to find something else or this case will be over. I'm sorry for the embellishment of the truth a little bit. I did not see the actual moment of the attack. But it had to have happened shortly before I went into the ranch house. Miss Malone and her father were the only ones at the scene of the crime, so she must be the culprit. ¿Este es tu testimonio? Maldita guarra. I see, you only saw the aftermath of the scene, not the actual crime being committed. Very well, hopefully there are no issues in your testimony this time. Defense, it's time for your cross-examination. Naturally, Your Honor. Dragmire still looks pretty angry. I bet he didn't expect such a blatant contradiction to pop up. If I could just find another one like that, the princess's testimony would become completely untrustworthy in the eyes of the judge. What I actually saw. I'm sorry for embellishing the truth a little bit. I did not see the actual moment of the attack. But it had to have happened shortly before I went into the ranch house. Vale, Well, this is a little more plausible than the last testimony she gave. Y lo de la botella al final, no he pusheado nada ahí. Yes, I suppose it matches the detective's account, doesn't it? Still, I feel like something here sticks out like a sore thumb. Veamos otra vez. I'm sorry for embellishing the truth a little bit. I did not see the actual moment of the attack, but it happened shortly before I went into the ranch house. Tenemos algo sobre esto. Victim died from loss of blood no later than 8. Tal vez podemos esto presentar porque esto estaba limpio, entonces no se ha ido la música. Eso es que ha fallado. Pero esto es una prueba. Se ha dicho que tenía que haber ocurrido justo antes y esto está limpio, entonces no encaja esto. Pero ok. We're the only ones at the scene of the crime, so she must be the culprit. Tiene pinta de que esto es algo que hay que No sé dónde pusher, aquí vamos a presionar. How can you be so sure of that, princess? Well, when I entered the ranch house, the victim still had the murder weapon embedded into his body. What? It is obvious that what that means. It is not, the killer did not even have enough time to try to hide the weapon. Pero entonces lo que acabo de presentar contradice esto. Yes, I might have not seen the murder firsthand, but I have been very close to doing so. Oh my, this seems like a very important detail. Esta es una mentirosa. I think it will be advisable for Her Highness to amend her testimony. Vale, tiene que amendearlo. Interesting. Dragmire Center doesn't look very happy about this development, does he? Thinking about it, I might just know why. Super Foxer, gracias por ese beat. Sí, he hablado de eso. Y ahora no es el momento. The murder weapon was still stuck into the victim body after all. Vale, ahora es el momento de presionar. I believe I have found another reason to doubt the witness's word. It seems the prosecution sees what I'm getting at here. There was a bloody cloth discovered at the scene of the crime. The prosecution has argued before that it was used to wipe the saw clean. If the princess saw the saw long into Talon's body and the crime scene was left intact, then it couldn't have been wiped. Well, Prosecutor Dragmire, care to explain? This is most perplexing, Your Highness. Are you sure that's what you saw? Well, maybe the princess decided to pull the saw out in a valiant yet futile attempt to save the victim, and then wipe the blade clean? That would be almost like framing the defendant. Of course I did no such thing. I made sure the crime scene stayed intact. I guess I must have made up the memory about the saw sticking out of Mr. Talon as well. Oh. No fiable. You idiotic girl. Do you even realize what you have done through your bumbling? I'm sorry. I was just so excited to stand as a witness in court just this once. Whenever I tried telling my father about anything, he always seemed so disinterested. Just this once, I wanted to feel listened to. The defendant, it is clear that she did it. I just wanted to play a larger part in her capture. Mala perra. I'm sorry for the trouble I have caused you all. Your Highness, the court is no place for silly games. As it stands, I'm afraid we will have to strike your statement from the court record completely. Yes, I did it. The prosecution lost their key witness. La botella al final. No, me lo salté por completo. No, please wait. I have more to say. I was wrong about the crime scene, but I still have not testified about what I saw afterwards. Bah! Why would we care about that? It's best that you leave and stop damaging my cause with your idiocy. Even if you are not interested in my words, you might be interested in the evidence I found. What? Huh? Evidence? Of course. While the Sheikah force investigated inside the ranch house, I looked around the rest of the ranch on my own. Sheikah, did you know about this? Of course I did. You did? I'll have your head for this. Order, order. What is the meaning of this, detective? Uy, me he saltado la línea. It's quite simple. The princess specifically requested to present her finding on her own. What? And you agreed to this? This court is not some playground where children decide when evidence should be presented just because they have a crown. Totalmente de acuerdo. He's being rude about it, but I can't help but agree with Dragmire on this one. ¿A qué estamos jugando? Also, I don't really buy this story. There's no way Impa will have allowed this. Believe me, I wasn't thrilled with the request either. However, after seeing the evidence in question, I didn't think it would be all that important to the case. Thus, I let the princess have her fun. This is highly irregular. I'm not sure how to feel about this. Prosecutor? Bah, naturally I object to this nonsense. If the detective thinks it's irrelevant, then this is probably just a waste of time. All the evidence points to the defendant. It's still clear she did it, even without a witness at the scene. I see. Defense? What do we do? If we object to presenting the evidence, then Dragmire loses his key witness. Plus, whatever the princess presents could be bad for our case too. So we should agree with the prosecution? Well, on the other hand, we don't really have much to go on. This could be our only left. Well, surely you won't throw away all the progress you have made thus far. What do I do? Request the evidence. Si ella es inocente, cuanta más evidencia mejor. The defense requests that the evidence be presented. What? While I'll agree that the situation is irregular, we should still examine all evidence available. It will be silly to dismiss it as irrelevant without even seeing what it is. I do believe you have a point, defense. However, I must warn you. In order to admit this piece of evidence into the court record, the princess's statement that she found it somewhere away from the scene has to be admitted as testimony. Yes, Your Honor, I am well aware. The defense wishes to give the princess just one more chance. Of all the idiotic... Order! Very well then. Your Highness, please testify once more about the new piece of evidence you found during your own investigation. Thank you. I will not let you down this time, I promise. The princess should understand the gravity of the situation at hand now. I just hope this new evidence isn't damaging to our case. My findings. I wish to express my most heartfelt apologies for my mistakes in the earliest testimonies. Upon entering the ranch house, I saw the defendant passed out in front of the victim who was bleeding out. I stood guard at the entrance of the ranch house until the Shaker force arrived. Once the Shaker started investigating the crime scene, I decided to take a look around the ranch. While I was walking near the silo, I noticed a strong odor in the air. I had to stop to see where it was coming from. I followed the scent and found a burned out fire nearby and a small, nearly empty bottle of lamp oil. I, of course, took the bottle straight to the head detective. Ah, esa es la botella de... Ah, no, pero la otra había dicho que era de perfume. Esta es otra. And here it is, the oil bottle I found. Is something wrong? Oh no, this might actually be completely irrelevant. Yes, well, of course there is, foolish girl. That has nothing to do with anything. Your great finding is some random fire on a ranch? Please. What next? Are you going to declare every rake on the premise suspicious? Well, The prosecution will calm down. Se estaban quemando pruebas. Es relevante. This is bad. Your Honor, despite the fact that this evidence might not seem to add anything to at the moment, the defense still asserts its right to a cross-examination. Some straws have been grasped. Why must you insist on this charade? Defense? The princess has merely recounted the same view of the crime scene as the head detective. You haven't been able to find any contradictions in her statement. I believe there might be a way to tie the princess' new evidence into the case. Ridiculous! Regardless of what the prosecution thinks, the defense does have a right to a cross-examination. The court admits the oil bottle into evidence. I really just hope this isn't a complete waste of time, defense. For both your own sake and your clients. El oponente interesa defender por el oriente, jugar breathing out. Esto guarda dentro del survive. Guarda dice que se dice take a lot of the ranch. Where was taken near the ceiling and this is have to stop, vale. Presionemos aquí. What was the smell like? Oh, it was awful. A really terrible stench. Bahaha, surely you don't mean to say that you found the smell of horse manure suspicious. Don't be ridiculous. The smell was not coming from the horses. Pero no ha dicho que era el olor, entonces. I found the thing and found... Presionemos aquí. ¿Cuál es este juego? Ocarina of Time de toda la vida. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Nunca lo habéis pasado al 100%? A fire, huh? Now, let me remind you, defense, that there's any number of reasons why a fire could have been there. You can still feel the cold grasp of death early in the morning. Princess, how long would you estimate the fire had been out before you found it? Ah, right. There was still smoke rising out of the ashes, so it must have been put out recently. So, around the time of the crime. So someone prepared their breakfast there. I repeat, this fire is irrelevant. I think he's realized the same thing I did. Well, who was it? Who could have lit that fire anyway? It would have to have been the ranch worker who was putting the milk shipment together at the time. It was almost certainly him. If you really want to ask about his little barbecue, you might just get your wish soon. ¿Cómo estaba cargando la leche? Si estaba haciéndose una barbacoa. Doesn't sound like it was very appetizing. But without any concrete to pin on him, he will just be able to brush it off. Chequemos esa botella. Has a tiny bit of oil inside. No me dice mucho esto. Of course, took the bottle. Right, and she allowed you to present it? Well, I was the one who found it, and since it was going to the trial anyway... utter ridiculousness! Yes, please make this the last time you do something like this, Your Highness. Proper procedures exist for a reason. Yes, I understand. Do you have an idea why there will be a fire at the ranch that day? No, it's pretty odd. Then it sounds like it's definitely worth looking into, although it will be hard to link it to the crime in any way. In situations like this, getting as much info as possible is my best bet. Vamos, que me está diciendo que presionen todos los diálogos. There's no need to press the princess on her apology. You already wasted the chance to throw out her testimony. Tiene razón. pero es que el juego me ha dicho que presione. Voy a esperar el 2. Was there anything else in the room? Only the beautiful crystal bottle I mentioned before. The house was rather barren. Most of our things are on the top floor since the downstairs room is mostly used for ranch business these days, and the occasional game. Ah, of course. That famous Cuckoo game. The good old days. Is the defense done reminiscing? There will be plenty of time to do that when the defendant's behind bars. I was just trying to distract myself from the fact that there's nothing to latch onto here. I stood guard at the entrance of the ranch house until the Sheikh force arrived. Once the Sheikh started investigating the crime scene, I decided to take a look around the ranch. While I was walking near the silo, I noticed... Ay, espera, que esto ya lo he leído, que lo que tengo que hacer es presionar. Vale, aquí hemos presionado. Did anything happen during that time? No, not that I recall. The guards did occasionally protest and asked me to let them take cover, but I held my stance. Well, commendable in theory, staying in the same room as a dangerous killer isn't very wise. What if she woke up and lashed out at you? Sweet Helia up above! That thought didn't occur to me. Bah, of course not. Foolish girl. But the guards did stand close by. I would have been safe. Wonderful to see how much faith our princess has in our royal guard. Yes, of course I do. In any case... Once the shake I decided to take a look around our chance. Presionemos. You didn't just go home? The royal visitation was supposed to last a lot longer. Father was not expecting us back at the castle until much later. I came to the ranch to examine the horses, so I supposed I could at least do that in the meantime. How long did it take the Sheikh to arrive at the scene? It does not take very long to make the trip from Hyrule Castle town to Lon Ranch. I cannot imagine it was more than 20 minutes. That is pretty fast, although I imagine that the fact that the princess was involved helped speed it up. Slowpokes, I will be there in half that time, running backwards even. I suppose it's no surprise though, así eso es una referencia a glitches del Zelda. Hylian horses are naturally inferior to our fine Gerudo steeds. De Gerudo era Gerudo al final. Just don't bother, he's trying to rile you up. Pasarinho, ¿me has meado en la mano? No, me has cagado en la mano. Ah, y en el mando también. Qué genial. Uy, ¿qué ha pasado? He pulsado esto sin querer. Defense, I believe that is enough. Espérate, hay caca por todo. It doesn't seem like you are getting any closer to find the connection between this fire and the crime at all. No, I suppose not, Your Honor. Ya he presionado en todos los puntos. Naturally, I've said this was a waste of time from the beginning. In that case, this cross-examination is over. Thank you for your time, Your Highness. I assume you have no more revelations to share with us. ¿Entonces ha sido toda una pérdida de tiempo? No, I do not. I really thought the fire would be important. Leave my side. Enough! Your Highness, if you will allow me to escort you back to Hyrule Castle, very well. Entonces la cross-examination esta ha sido una farsa, una pérdida de tiempo. Now that the princess' little game is over, we should move this along. The prosecution stance is still the same, of course. We maintain that the evidence on its own is enough to convict the defendant. I do believe I am nearly ready to hand down my verdict. Objection? But Your Honor, there's nothing that definitely shows that Malone committed the crime. This is all circumstantial. There's no way she could kill her own father. That is an excellent point, defense. The prosecution has yet to elaborate on the defendant's motive. Patricide is not something a person commits lightly. Bah! I did briefly touch on the subject during my opening statement. But naturally, the prosecution is fully prepared to elaborate on the matter. I would like to call my third witness. That has to be that ranch worker. Before calling him in, though, the prosecution requests a brief recess to prepare. I thought you said you were already prepared. Maybe he wants to double-check that his new witness won't pull anything weird like the princess did? Very well, I do believe a break will benefit us all. The court will reconvene after a 15 minutes recess. No, por favor, tengo prisa. Hagamos con esto. It's not going all that well, is it? No, I think that went about as well as it could have actually, given the circumstances. We exposed the worst of the princess's testimony as untrue. Ugh, I can't believe she will just make stuff up like that. Yeah, that was surprising. Still, the issue is that we didn't manage to shake the core of the argument. If only there was anyone else in that house. Now, there is no need to look so glum. Detective, aren't you supposed to be escorting the princess back? The carriage is being prepared. I thought I would drop in the meantime. You have really managed to make Dragmire furious, you know? I have? If you listen carefully, you just might be able to hear him ranting over in the prosecution's lobby. He's really giving his upcoming witness a grilling. Expect him to try to shut you down as fast as he can. Well, that would be worrying if I had anything he could shoot down in the first place, I guess. Oh, but you do. What do you mean? Oh, come on now. I'm talking about the princess's grand discovery, of course. The fire? I wasn't able to do anything with that. You really think it's relevant? Don't get me wrong, at present I am convinced the girl did it. We investigated and came to this conclusion for a reason. But I am willing to explore every possibility. That fire is definitely a bit strange, and I dare say it may be your only way out of this. If I might be so bold, I think you should press the next witness on that topic hard. As the only other person working on the ranch at the time, he is the only one who could have lit that fire. If he is hiding something, I think the court deserves to know. The thing is, the next testimony is about the motive. It's going to be difficult to bring up the fire again without Dragmire objecting. You will have to make it work. As much as I don't like it, she's right. There really isn't a whole lot else to go on here. Thank you. Don't mention it. One last thing. You, ranch girl. Me? Try not to hold that testimony against the princess. Believe me, I am sure she was acting with the best of intentions in mind. You know the road to the Dark Realm is paved with those, right? Perhaps. It was definitely a serious lapse of judgment, one she will live to regret. Part of this comes from the fact that she's rather sheltered and inexperienced. After the sudden death of her older sister last year, she was thrust into the role of an heir very suddenly. ¿De dónde viene esto? Se están inventando lore. No me gusta. That's right, the mysterious death of the firstborn princess. Hariel still grieves after the events of that day, and yet no one knows what exactly happened. In the void of information, conspiracy theories run among people blaming the royal guard, the Sheikah, and even the king himself. The princess will soon have a whole kingdom worth of troubles on her shoulders. For a kingdom with a history as turbulent as ours, it's a lot to handle. The princess' conduct today probably won't help with the distrust some people have on the crown right now, though. She's wise beyond her years, she will learn and she will be better. I simply ask that you don't think of her as enemy, whatever comes of this trial. She doesn't need more of she already has. Vale, que sí, podemos volver al juicio, por favor. New development. Something about a milk shipment being returned to the ranch because of a wrong recipient address? They're asking you to come over to see it. Oh, those idiots. I don't have time for this. Send someone else. I have to escort the princess to the castle. Roger. That did remind me, though. I took this bottle of milk from a couple of guards who were slacking on the job earlier. Here, ranch girl, perhaps it will help calm your nerves somewhat. Not to worry, it's still unopened. Oh, thank you. That's nice of her. Too bad for those guards, though. Now then, I believe the princess' carriage shall be prepared by now. If you will excuse me. Sigh, I think I'm so nervous right now. Milk has just lost its flavor. Huh? Lost its flavor? But London milk is always so tasty. Are you sure it's just nerves? Let me try some. De la misma botella. Beso indirecto. Huh, you're right. I assume this will have come from one of yesterday's shipments. Probably, with the investigation at the ranch, there wouldn't be any today, so... Maybe it just isn't fresh? No, I don't think so. It doesn't really taste as if it's gone bad. Also, the guard said that one of yesterday's shipment was misaddressed, didn't he? And this was all handled by Ingo, wasn't it? Estaba desviando la leche al otro lado y sustituyéndola por agua sucia. I think there's something odd going on. I'd better make some notes about this in the court record. Defense, the court is about to reconvene. Escort your blah blah blah. Court is back in session for the trial of Malone from Roller Rise. As soon as the prosecution finds and witnesses ready. Naturally, I have personally seen to that there is no foolishness this time around. Hopefully, his ears are intact. As we discussed before the recess, having established the opportunity and means for the defendant to have committed the murder, only one matter remains: the matter of motive. For naturally, such a heinous crime couldn't be the result of mere happenstance. The prosecution believed the defendant had a deep desire that pushed her to patricide. Our next witness can shed light on the matter. Fascinating. Very well. Please proceed. The prosecution calls the ranch worker Ingo to the stand. Pero un momento, que este pasarinio quiere comer. Quiere trocearse una de estas. Ahora ya está gordo. It's funny to see Mr. Ingo in such fancy clothes. Oh? Yeah, he almost always just wears his work dungarees. It's almost like looking at a different person. Well, I guess he wanted to dress up for court, and he wouldn't want to get this nice outfit dirty by working in it. Quiet defense. Witness, state your name and occupation. Your Honor, Great Honorable Prosecutor, my name is Ingo. I mind Lon Ranch. Mind? What does that entail exactly? I'm mostly there to work on the structures and equipment. The owner and his daughter are the ones who tend to the animals and take care of orders. How long have you been working at the ranch? It will be several years at this point. There have been others who came and went, but I, Ingo, have persevered through all the hardships. Sounds like he wants a medal for it. Well, he does get a bit pompous at times, but Mr. Ingo really is a great help. He built the ranch silo single-handedly. Wow, that's some dedication. Very well. Given that you are clearly an important employee, you are privy to some inside information. ¿Es correcto? Va a ser que al final el silo tenía una entrada secreta o algo así y escondió allí el arma. Uy, me acabo de despeinar. No sé si he conseguido arreglarlo. Information is that correct? Yes, the ranch owner shared all the big plans with me. He trusted me implicitly. He used to say that we are like a big family. That sounds lovely. That sounds like a red flag that you're gonna be getting loads of unpaid overtime. Evidently, not every member of your so-called family felt the same way, though, did they? It hurts to do this, but I have no choice. Hear my story, Honorable Court of Law. Just a couple days ago, the owner, Talon, partly signed the ranch over to his daughter, Malon. Talon became a life tenant with Malon meant to inherit all of the assets after his death. As long as Talon lived, Malon could not sell the ranch. It's simple, isn't it? The girl killed Talon to get full ownership and leave the dingy ranch life behind. It's appalling how ungrateful she is, after all Talon did for her. And there you have it, testimony from a man who just lost everything. It's truly tragic to witness just another family be torn apart by greed. We have evidence, we have the defendant's cuffed red-handed at the scene of the crime, and now we have a motive. How do we know he's telling the truth? I have of course verified the witness testimony. As per the law, all inheritance documents must be filed at the Castletown Notary Office to be considered valid. I saw it to prepare this for the trial. The prosecution would like to submit the London Ranch inheritance document into evidence. A ver ese documento. Malon will inherit the ranch if she is unable to divide the deed between the crown and the remaining employees. Why would you? You should pass judgment now, Judge. Judge, the defense has nothing. Cross-examine the witness, relevant, but of course, as whatever you will like. I, the hardworking Ingo, can handle it. Very well, defense, please begin. The owner of Talon partners in the ranch over to his daughter Malon. Talon became a lieutenant with Malon meant to inherit all of the assets after his death. As long as Talon lived, Malon could not sell the ranch. It's simple, isn't it? The girl killed Talon to get full ownership and leave the dingy ranch life behind. Vamos a presionar aquí. Do you really think Malon will go that far? I don't want to think it, but clearly the events speak for themselves, don't they? Why wouldn't she just wait a few more years then? Talon was getting older. Perhaps she knew more and more work would be piling onto her. But really, how am I supposed to know? Ask her. That's alright. Well, if Malon didn't want to work, wouldn't she have done this earlier? As Talon's only child, she would still inherit the ranch. That's where you are wrong. For a long time, Talon planned to split the ranch between the girl and the crown. He was a patriotic man. He knew how much those horses meant to the royal guard. I wish he hadn't changed his mind now. Is this true? Yes, father's previous inheritance document did work that way. How admirable. I guess familial bonds won over his drive to help the kingdom. Truly a shame. Yes, naturally the girl wanted the whole thing, so she bided her time. I think this sufficiently explains the timing. Let's continue, shall we? Wait just a moment. There's one more problem with the timing that I would like the witness to explain. Why would Malon have planned the murder for the day of the royal visitation specifically? More people around means more witnesses. You would think she would have chosen any other day. Oh, did I forget to mention this? I overheard Talon arguing with her that very morning. He was telling her he had changed his mind again. He was planning to tell the king that he would be signing the ranch over to the crown. After the visitation was over, he would head to Castletown to change the inheritance back to the original split. What? Mentiras. Despite the victim's wishy-washiness, it would appear he did make the right choice in the end. And because of that choice, if the defendant wanted to get the ranch, she had no time to waste that day. Is this true too? Absolutely not. Father wasn't planning to do that, and there was no argument either. What to do about this argument then? Add it to the testimony. There was an argument about the inheritance. That sounds like an important fact to me. The defense requests it be added to the testimony. Very well, witness, please do so. I will be happy to, Your Honor. Presionemos aquí. So Malon hadn't become the ranch owner yet? Well, of course not. Haven't you heard the story making round recently? So many ungrateful brats throwing their old folks into retirement homes the moment the ownership handed to them? Talon was no fool. I myself convinced him that it was the safer option. If the girl was up to some chicanery, he could always reverse his decision. That's horrible. I will never do that. As much as I would like to believe that, you did much worse by killing him. Children this day, you feed them, you raise them, and they pull a stunt like this as soon as you give them an inch over yourself. I must concur, the younger generation is horrible. Why did he look at me while saying that? Anyway, what that meant was... Vale, hemos presionado. Era aquí donde quería presionar, no en la segunda. How long ago was this exactly? 3-4 days. I'm not sure of the exact date. Had it been planned for a long time? Talon was getting on in years. Better to take care of the matter sooner than later, eh? Malon? He's telling the truth. Father scheduled a visit to the notary office about a week ago. What do you mean by party business? No me he hecho nada sobre por eso. As long as Talon and Malcolm no set the ranch. Presionemos por si acaso. But why would Malon want to sell the ranch right now? Why wouldn't she want to? Why would a pretty girl like her want to work on some dingy ranch? She will have it much better if she sold the old place and used the money to move to Castletown. That's not true. I love working with the animals. Una mosquita. I wouldn't leave them for anything. Wow. Por favor, mosquita. She's often slacking on the job while I, the hard-working Ingo, have to cover for her. I guess the coconut doesn't fall far from the tree, as they say. That Talon loved to sleep on the job too. Hoho, I do recall a quite funny story about the London ranch owner blocking the side entrance to Hyrule Castle for an entire day once. Lo recuerdo. The wars couldn't wake him up, it took a particular bucket cuckoo apparently. Ah, jeez. Well, there you go. I am the real reason why the ranch has such renown. Me, the hard-working Ingo. Link, that's not true at all. I know, but how do I stop this? It's simple, isn't it? The girl killed Talon to death for honesty. I overheard them arguing. Presionemos aquí. About what time this happened? First thing in the morning, I was heading out to the silo to start the day's work. I had just walked out the front door of the ranch house when I heard some yelling erupt behind me. Do you remember any specifics about what was said? Oh yes, it surprised me enough that I'd stopped to listen, no sé qué. It was all like, I'm really sorry, Maron, but the most important thing is to make sure the king will always have a steady supply of quality horses. I don't care. What about me, father? How can you do this to me? Buenas animaciones. Malon, this isn't just about you, it's for the good of the entire kingdom. But what am I supposed to do? I can't move up in life if I'm stuck on this dump of a ranch forever. I thought you loved the ranch. All the animals are here and Dingo's always around to help out with the chores too. He's pretty great, isn't it? Isn't he? Yeah, Ingo's awesome, but I still hate you for this. This isn't over. What a starring reenactment. I will keep my thoughts on the witness's acting skills to myself. There's no way this actually happened though. Malon will never want to sell the ranch. Well, of course she will say that now, you buffoon. Remember, she's under suspicion for murder. We can trust the things she says. Well, I trust her, but the judge probably doesn't right now, and that's unfortunately what matters. Do I have anything in the court record to refute this story? If you ask me, this whole inheritance issue could have been avoided if the crown wasn't so soft. In Gerudo Desert, there will be no question that the fortress might seize whatever it desires. That's just messed up. No matter. Continue your testimony, farmhand. Share with us the true nature of the defendant. A ver, tenemos... of equipment, some orders of milk, ranch boat tariff for the princess. Esto no me he enterado. Both just before the crime. Esto se compró justo antes del crimen. Entonces, ¿es esto una prueba de que no podían estar? De que alguien fue a comprarlo justo antes y entonces no podían haber escuchado el argumento. Es eso. Voy a jugármela. No, error. Sí. ¿Qué entonces? Seguir pusheando aquí. No, you hold it. That man gave everything for her. She's gotten so many expensive presents over the years. Just look at that golden necklace she's wearing. That man spoiled her rotten. In fact, I think I saw another present he was meaning to give her on the very day he was killed. Another gift? Why, yes, a little bottle of perfume, I believe. ¡Lo acabo de presentar! It's horrible. Talon was such a kind man. What happened to him was despicable. Was that last statement important? Add it to a testimony. Defense wishes to add a testimony. What are you doing trying to implicate the defendant even harder? I think it's an important detail. The perfume is irrelevant, but I suppose the prosecution has no objection to strengthening our case. Very well, witness. Please add that to your testimony. Talon often bought Malon gifts. I saw the last one. Some kind of perfume, I think. Vamos a presionar primero y luego a presentar la prueba. Where did you see this? I think it was you lying around the ranch house. Talon probably intended to give it to Malon on the day he was killed. Do you mean this, witness? Why, yes, that's exactly it. Looks very expensive. If only Talon had spent as much of his salary for me, the hard-working Ingo. I get up and leave to work at the break of dawn every day, you know? What's your relationship with this guy anyway? Well, he's been employed and living with us on the ranch for as long as I can remember, really. You know, I don't think he's ever skipped a day of work thinking about it. Not a single one? Talk about dedication, but even so, something is very much off here. Vale, volvamos al último punto. Y volvamos a presentar esto. Ahora sí. Witness, what is it? Just to confirm, you say that this bottle of perfume was bought for Malon by her father, correct? What else will it be for? I assure you Talon wasn't the time to indulge in perfumes, far from it. Well, you're wrong, witness. Oh, is that so? Was the ranch owner truly a perfume connoisseur? No, Your Honor. This bottle of perfume was brought for the princess. Un poco irrelevante, ¿no? So what, defense? Sure, it's technically a contradiction, but what does the purpose of this bottle change? Yes, defense, I admit I'm confused as well. Please explain why this point is important. Earlier in the trial, Malon mentioned that Talon brought this perfume in preparation last minute. Creo que no se ha mencionado eso. Creo que eso no presionamos ahí. Isn't that right, Malon? Aunque igual no me acuerdo y sí que ocurrió. It sure is. We had a gift for the king prepared when the news arrived that it would actually be the princess making his visitation. Father quickly rode out into town to get a new gift. This info puts one thing into question. Talon's tasting gift, somebody's movements. Creative Back se suscribe con Twitch Prime Gaming por 10º mes. Muchas gracias, Creative Back, por patrocinar este stream. Un saludo. Somebody's movements. Someone's movements around the ranch are pointing to serious doubt. Someone's? Well, don't keep us waiting then. Defense, who is this person? Naturally, the person whose movement becomes suspect is... no sé si Talon o este porque he dicho que escuchó la discusión Pero por otro lado, este porque salió al principio, vamos a decir que es... The witness himself, if you recall, this bottle of perfume which had just been purchased was found at the crime scene. A crime scene the witness supposedly never went to. He shouldn't have known about the bottle. Ah, cierto. Ah. Order, order! The defense raises a very valid point. You simpleton, what is the meaning of this? Bueno, a ver, un poco cogido por los pelos en verdad, porque sí que podía haberla visto. Si la vio antes de... Entre que la trajo y se produjo el crimen, que no necesariamente fue inmediatamente. Did you go to the scene of the crime at any point? No, of course I didn't. I was working in the silo all day. I remember I saw the gift the day before the crime. The girl is lying. Talon must have gotten the gift the day before. You are the one who's lying. Father didn't leave the ranch at all that day. One's word against another. Defense. Do you have any way to prove that your version of events is true? No tenemos un receipt ni nada, ¿no? Supongo que ask at the store. Why don't we send a soldier to ask the store owner when the bottle was bought? But do you know how many people visit that store? It's inconceivable that the owner will remember every random purchase. Pero no es random, es muy cara. La botella. Ah. Any other ideas, Defense? Find the receipt. When you buy something, you usually get a receipt, and the receipt I will show the date of purchase. Pensaría que en Hyrule no hay receipts. Sí, de hecho puedo confirmar porque he comprado en Hyrule. No hay receipts. Se lo están inventando. It might still be at the ranch house. I say we send someone out to look for it. Father never throws receipts away. We have a drawer full of them. The perfume one should be right on top. I believe this idea has some merit. Soldiers, rush out to the ranch house immediately and search for that receipt. Your Honor. Yes, what is it, soldier? We have just received the receipt from the team stationed at the crime scene. Very well, thank you. I shall now read it out. There's a lot riding on this. From Tinger's mysterious smells. Ah yes, I think I've seen that store. Is that eccentric looking place in the back alley? You couldn't miss the blinding neon colors if you tried. It's an utter eyesore. The gall of this nobody running a monopoly in helium perfume is preposterous. Perhaps, but back to the matter at hand. The nerve of that dunderhead. Why would anyone ever shop at a store where the owner calls every customer a fairy? Prosecutor. And the balloons, oh the balloons, that fool popped one right in my face. Prosecutor Dragmire, enough! Continuing on, purchased item 1 bottle of rosy rupiland. Oh my, this is quite the price. Why, I will have to... Your Honor, please! The date of purchase? Oh yes, right, date of purchase. Why, it's marked 16, the day of the murder. Ah! Order! Yes, we got him. Phew, I think we're finally getting somewhere. But this still doesn't mean anything. Perhaps the witness briefly went back to the ranch house for something and saw the bottle then? Exacto. Yes, that's it. I was getting thirsty, so I went back to get a drink. I must have seen the bottle then. Oh, come on, you think we're gonna believe that? Do you have any proof that he didn't? Where I believe this calls for further testimony. As the witness no claim to have visited the crime scene shortly before the murder, we shall learn of his exact movements that day. My movements? Well, alright, there's not a whole lot to say though. It's unfortunate that he managed to whistle out of that. This next testimony will be full of lies. This is my chance. My non-suspicious movements. As was already stated, I had volunteered to work in the silo. At one point, I briefly went back to the ranch house to get myself a glass of water. I went back to the silo right after that and stayed there until the courier came. I haven't been back to the ranch house at all since then. At some point, the detective came and told me what happened. And wow, was that detective one fine woman. See, I haven't done anything to warrant suspicion. Eat my shoes, you brat. I will pass. There has to be something wrong in there. You can't put a flawless story together that quickly. Presiono que no es una fine woman. La verdad es que no hay nada así a primera vista que me parezca particularmente que contradictorio o algo. You didn't just take a sip of the milk you were handling? No, it wouldn't be right. That milk was for the customers, you see? I just didn't want to get into any trouble. A truly honest man, how dare you suggest he would steal from his own workplace? Right, so what did you see at the house? Nothing much. I got my drink and left. Still had a lot of work to do, you see? I suppose that I must have seen the perfume bottle then. In fact, yes, I remember it clearly now. It was there on the table, plain as day. Muhaha. Great. What happened after that, witness? Presionemos aquí a ver. And you were able to complete this so quickly on your own? Bah, you don't know the might of the great Ingo. Ha, tja, hapow, wham. I get things done in no time. I did almost break my back getting those crates out of the silo though. There were so many and all so heavy, it was like a puzzle in there. Anyway, that's not important. The point is, I haven't been back to the ranch since then. Presionemos. Are you sure? Sure as can be, muhaha. You never went back in, even after the crime was discovered? Bah, they wouldn't let me in. Preserving the crime scene or some such. I couldn't even get any of my things. After I was questioned, no one gave me half a glance. I had to sleep in the stables that night. It was terrible. Is what he said just important? It is important. No sé por qué es important, pero vamos a decir que sí por si acaso. Añádelo. Blenitas Dev, me reine con una partida en 3 personas. Muchas gracias, Blenitas, bienvenidos. Please amend your statement. Yeah, fine, whatever. I didn't even get to sleep or access any of my belongings. I had to spend that night in the stable. Esto encaja con algo. Presionemos. Couldn't you have stayed at an inn? What am I made of money? Think, boy. I'm just a simple ranch worker, you know? Phew, you lawyers, always floating your wealth. Right, sorry. Not actually sorry. I doubt one night we'll bankrupt this guy. Just look at what he's wearing. At some point the detective came and told me what happened, and wow, was a fine woman. Los Rancher Status Documents se supone que los ha traído él, ¿no? Pues en esta foto sale también con vestido con sus trajes elegantes en vez de con el traje de trabajar. Un slip. ¿Dónde más presionar? ¿En la 1 o en la 6? Could you elaborate? She's a hard-working woman who gets to the point. It takes what she wants, not to mention her impeccable fashion sense. What's not to love? That's not the part I wanted him to elaborate on. Wow, he seems totally smitten with her. Sure does. I wonder how Impa feels about it. Perhaps when this chore of a trial is... But no, it will have to wait. You thought you could distract me, did you? I'm the genius ranch worker in go see through your schemes. ¿Qué hago? Puso en la primera. He's sticking to that story, huh? Yeah. It was a desperate face, but it how surprisingly well. I can hardly believe this is the same Mr. Ingo I know. He's usually so nice. It's time to press for no more details. He's sure to slip up somewhere. There has to be a piece of evidence or a profile waiting to disprove what he's saying. Es verdad que también hay profiles. ¿Dónde estaban los profiles? Aquí otra vez. The friend defended in this case, the victim owner of Long Ranch and Manos loving father, Jolly old man, prosecutor, head of detectives assigned to investigate the case. Heir apparent to the royal throne, a witness to the murder. Swarmy man who works on the ranch usually in his work clothes, was he dressed nicely for court. Presionemos esta, que es la última que queda. Un segundo. What were you doing? Working on shipments and fulfilling orders. We send out crates of milk to milk bars all across the kingdom every day, you know? Milk bars? Naturally, everyone loves a good drink, you know? And our milk is renowned as the best there is. I hear some others water theirs down, despicable. I see. I think you said earlier that your job is to work on the structures and the equipment, though. Indeed. Talon and the guild will usually be the ones overseeing milk orders. However, since the royal visitation was happening that day, I felt they needed their minds occupied, so I took it upon myself to do it this time. After the murder, I got scared that the Sheikah Force investigation will delay the shipment, that I, the Great Ingo, will be to blame. Thankfully, it went through fine. And you were so concerned with sending it off quickly that you wrote the wrong delivery address on it. Bah, you Hylians ridiculous. Getting tipsy from something like milk? Bet you couldn't handle even a sip of the Gerudo Noble Pursuit, a real man's drink. A real man's drink? Aren't most of the Gerudo women? Speaking of drinks, I believe the witness was talking about how he had gotten himself a glass of water. Yes, of course, moving all that heavy stuff around was a sweat. You see, I got very thirsty and... Pues no sé. No sé qué presentar aquí. Tal vez lo del fuego. Tal vez. Pero no sé dónde encajaría esto. Lo de que esto volvió, pero esto... Esto no contradice nada de lo que ha dicho él. Stay there until the courier came. Es el momento de presentar esto. Solo que esto no contradice nada. Es solo para... Es solo que es relevante. Voy a probar a presentar esto aquí, a ver si es. Sí que era. Uf. You stayed at the silo the whole time and... Ah, vale, ahora entiendo por qué Zelda fue a verla. Fue a mirar el silo y no estaba él. Vale, se me había olvidado ese detalle. We know someone made a fire around the time of the crime and the only one it could have been is you. A fire? Ho ho, yes, the fire. I suppose I did forget to mention that, didn't I? Huh? Yes, I did light a fire at one point, I admit. Everyone was busy preparing for the visitation in the morning and I didn't have time to eat. So I decided to make myself something while I worked. In fact, that reminds me, yes, that's also part of why I went to get myself a glass of water. The breakfast I was cooking burned a little, and I needed something to wash it down with. See, Defense, what did I tell you? No recuerdo decirlo, Karina. Suele pasar, efecto Mandela. La gente cree que Locarina iba de aventuras y no recuerda la parte del juicio. Pero fue así. The fire is completely irrelevant. He not only dismissed the contradiction but managed to strengthen his story too. I'm glad we have finally laid that mystery to rest. Defense is no, quiero más. Your Honor, I would like to keep us... Vale, ahora es cuando tengo que presentar el perfil de la princesa. Espero que sea esto. ¿Cómo que no? Pero. Aquí hay que presentarlo en la última. En cuando... Ah, no, esto ya era. We want to celebrate the Father's Day there until the courier came. Pues no sé, tío. No sé qué más. Lo de los shipments de leche. No, ay, mierda, le he dado a esto, no quería darle a esto. Sí, uno de los shipments está mal escrito, pero eso no contradice nada lo que ha dicho él. Vamos a mostrar esto por si esto es... No, esto no es tampoco. Pues esto y... No sé qué quiere esto que presente. Consultar. We will even try to return to the ranch house if he knew there will be a murder there. Well, I don't imagine he had any other place to sleep. Father let him move in with us when he was hired, so he wouldn't have to spend money on rent. Surely he didn't expect to be able to sleep at an active crime investigations scene, though. Well, it's not just that. All of Mr. Ingo's belongings are at the house. All of them, huh? It would be so easy to prove he went back to the scene if he just has something on him right now that he shouldn't. Maybe I should check his profile to make sure I have... Ah, la ropa. La ropa. Pues menos mal que aquí te dan la pistilla, porque si no está bien jodido. Pero sí, sí. Clever. Me pillaron ahí. No fui lo suficientemente detective. Witness, there's something seriously wrong with your testimony. What? What are you talking about? You said you couldn't get any of your belongings because they were all at the ranch house, correct? A ranch house you were not allowed to go in. That's right. Well, that will imply you should still be wearing your work clothes. Pardon me if I'm wrong, but those don't look like work clothes at all. The defense has a point. The witness appears pretty well dressed for court. I imagine he would want to surely those clothes during work. Well, what do you have to say to that? Girl. Oh, of course. I can explain, it's simple. These are brand new, yeah. On my way to the courthouse, I went shopping for a nice new outfit. After all, I couldn't very well show up to court dressed like a bum. Mohoho. Yes, defense, certain people have a modicum of respect for the court and show up dressed appropriately. Pero hace un momento ha dicho que es pobre. So you claim you bought these clothes after the crime, is that correct? Añadidlo al cuestionario. This morning in fact, why do I need to repeat myself? Do I accept that explanation? No. You buying those clothes today is simply impossible. What? Oh, how can you claim so? Sale en la foto. Defense, as you know, evidence is everything in court. Pero vamos, se podía haber comprado el mismo traje. Either prove that the witness couldn't have got those clothes today or get out. I would like to turn the court's attention to this. Ah! Why, this is one lovely pictograph. Ah, it reminds me of the idyllic days I spent... Objection, what about this pictograph, defense? Well, just look at what Indigo's wearing. This photo is from Malon's childhood, but Indigo is very clearly wearing the same outfit he has on right now. He couldn't have brought it today. Ah! Order! I will have order! Why, the defense is absolutely correct. I hope the witness has a good explanation for this. There, I think we finally got him. There's no way he can whistle out this time. Va a decir que se podría haber comprado el traje igual, ¿no? Naturally, the witness knew he would need to wear his nice clothes for the royal visitation. That was scheduled that day. Oh no, el pajarinho. Que lo piso. He brought them to the silo in advance so that he could quickly change just before the royal visitation's arrival. Pajarinho. ¿Qué hace? Ven aquí. Súbete aquí al palito. Oh. Oh. Yes, of course. I needed to be presentable after all. Can't look like a bum in front of the most important people in the kingdom. Wait a minute, this is insane. What kind of kangaroo court is this? The prosecution keeps making excuses on the spot. Ingo was clearly lying about buying the clothes before the trial. He's definitely trying to hide something. Your Honor, surely you won't accept this blatant perjury. Acceptive, Judge. There can be no other explanation. The prosecution's explanation does seem plausible. What? ¿Pero las mentiras? However, the fact that the witness didn't seem to say it himself and instead made up a lie about buying the clothes is indeed very suspicious. Defense. The prosecution has posed that there is no other possible explanation for this contradiction. What is your opinion on the matter? Can the defense think of an alternative version of events? Entro en la casa. This is big, I really need to think. Ingo is actually really suspicious right now. He's desperately trying to patch up holes in his testimony to conceal his real movements. Why would he be doing that? Ingo has a wardrobe at the silo. Ingo is the victim. Ingo is the murderer. If it's not Malon, Ingo is the only other person who could have done this. I have to assume he did, if I want to think Malon is innocent. With that in mind, why would Ingo change out of his work clothes? What happened to make it necessary? They got dirty, Talon's blood on them. Talon's blood got on them. When Ingo killed Talon, his clothes must have gotten blood on them. He had to change into something else to hide his involvement. But then wouldn't the Shaker Force have found the clothes in the house? El fuego. How could they have disappeared? They were thrown in a fire. Trifuerza. That's it, that explains everything. Bueno, no explica por qué Zelda dijo que olía horrenda la hoguera. Entiendo que quemar ropa de tela no hace que huela super mal. I believe I can offer an alternative explanation. Nonsense! Judge, the defense has spent far too long sitting in silence just now. They clearly have nothing. I call for a quick ruling. Objection! And not only can I explain it, but in fact, the defense formally accuses the witness of the murder. No! It's simple. The reason he had to swap his outfit and why he's been lying about the circumstances ever since is because it got stained with the victim's blood. Preposterous! If there were any discarded bloody clothes nearby, the Shaker Force will have found them, and we will be trying... Uy, mierda, ¿en qué momento me han pisado? Ha sido la paloma. Dante, te cargaste el juicio, Dante. ¿No quieres que se sepa la verdad? Ponte aquí, gorda. ¿No quieres que se sepa la verdad? Estás con el Ingo. Tu pasarinio, no te caigas. Súbete aquí. Why, you are absolutely correct, prosecutor. Naturally, Ingo couldn't have left his bloody clothes lying around, and so he used this to dispose of them. Your Honor, cast your mind to the princess' last testimony. The princess, that mysterious fire. Surely you jest. You yourself made sure we all knew how meaningless her testimony was. And yet, with this new context in mind, it gains a completely new meaning. An empty bottle of lamp oil found by a burned-out fire. Ingo used this lamp oil to quickly burn away his stained work clothes. Well, how about it, witness? My scenario explains everything. You killed Talon and then tried to hide it. This is... No! Hold on! What rebel are you spouting here? Me? Kill Talon? You already know that's impossible. Everything you have said is wrong. I have no idea what you are on about. I have an alibi for the time of the crime. I couldn't have done it. There's no way I could have completed those milk shipments, killed Talon, and tried to hide my involvement. The fire was just made for a quick breakfast. There's no mystery there. Stop trying to pin this on poor innocent Ingo. Vale, ahora es cuando hay que sacarlo de que la dirección está equivocada y todo ese rollo. The surprising was able to complete the shipment time. Adding even more things to him to do in that time is preposterous. That's right, the great Ingo is efficient at his job, but not that efficient. No, it had to have been him, I'm sure of it. There must be some trick at play here, some kind of shortcut. I must find it. Ya la sé, agua en la leche. Pero ¿qué presentamos primero? ¿La dirección o la leche? Everything is... I have an idea. There's no way. Vamos a presionar aquí y aquí seguramente presentar la leche. Would it really have taken that long to murder someone and burn some clothes? It would have taken long enough to definitely make the scheme infeasible. Completing these shipments is a rather involved process. You have to milk the cows, clean the bottles, pour the milk into them, put them into craters and load those into a wagon. I love working with the cows, but that part takes the longest because you only get a little at a time. So, as Mr. Ingo said, the whole thing really does take a while. Father and I usually have to work together to get it done in time for the courier's arrival. There you go, the fence. Your own clients know this is the blah blah blah. Okay, so there's no way for dealing. In that case, there had to be some way for him to finish the work that you have to find it, ¿vale? Confirmado que tengo que... Okay. The fireworks... Vale, aquí... Presentamos la leche. But did you though? Did you really complete those shipments properly? Defense, I shouldn't have to remind you that the Shaker Force checked the boxes thoroughly. They were definitely full of milk bottles. Oh, I'm sure of it. Look that way. What are you getting at, Defense? Here you go, Your Honor. Huh, milk for me? Are you trying to bribe the judge now? I didn't think you would stoop so low. The crowd will be informed of this. Oh, it's nothing like that. All I'm asking is that His Honor try tasting the milk. Just one little sip. Todo el mundo bebiendo toda la misma botella. This is highly irregular. But to be honest, I could use a drink. All this talking does make one throat dry, you know. You have probably talked the least out of everyone here, though. Since the defense insists, I will go ahead and take a sip. Is this what passes for milk this day? This almost tastes like water. Water? I have to agree. This is definitely not a standard milk. As we have heard from the princess and the detective, London Ranch is renowned for the quality of its products. But there's no way people will say that about milk this lousy. He visto ya el vídeo que hizo Jaime el Tozano de Ambidextro, ¿no? Primera noticia. Bah, whatever. As if the unwashed masses would know the difference between quality and garbage. Where are you going with this, Defense? It's simple, you see. I received this bottle from Detective Impa, still unopened, during the first recess. As we know, there were no milk shipments today, so this must have come from one of Ingo's shipments from yesterday. Ah. It's true that Ingo couldn't have murdered Talon and also completed the shipments on his own. Unless he cheated. Ingo watered down the milk to get the shipments done in time. Order. Yes, I suppose that will work. Indeed, all he had to do is milk fewer of the cows. To save enough time without running the taste too much, I guess he used about 50-50 split of water and milk. This is... No! Talon. Let me stop you right there. I will concede that something odd happened to that shipment. But all you have proven is that Ingo is a slacker. How dare you? Be quiet, you mongrel. Sure, Ingo watered down the milk. That doesn't make him a killer though, does it? Well, no. But now we do know that he definitely could have done it. We know he did go to the crime scene. And we know he did have the time and opportunity to kill Talon as well. Yet there is a vital element missing still. Let me put it in simple terms, so even an idiot like you can understand. Se está escuchando a Dante caminar de vez en cuando encima del micrófono, mover sus patillas y arruinando el audio. You lack the murder weapon. If Ingo was the murderer, then it couldn't have been the saw. Argumento 1. Vale, porque esto no procede. Tengo que presionar L en cada argumento que hace. And why is that? It's simple. If the girl's story about working on the fence is true, then she was using the saw while her father was being murdered. It couldn't have been in two places at the same time. Do I agree with this? Supongo que sí. I believe we are in complete agreement on this point. Do you realize the problem that creates for you, right? I'm sure it can all be explained. As if. But very well, then let's move on to why nothing else could have been the murder weapon either. You like them? Where will this supposed other murder weapon have even come from? Couldn't he have used any old thing? Either answer the question defense or this discussion is over. No need to overthink this. Anywhere Ingo could have gotten a weapon from will do. I will worry about the exact details later. Presentamos ahora la lista de equipamiento de la ranch. Have you forgotten about this murder happened on the ranch? There are plenty of sharp things on site. Ho ho. That's simple possible. We checked all sharp objects on the ranch and searched everywhere. No fresh blood was found anywhere else. Couldn't Ingo have just wiped it off? Blood leaves traces. It's not that easy to get rid of. People like us aren't so sensitive, but other beings like Thoros can easily tell by smell. Naturally, the Shaker Force employs people for just this task. Also, as Lone Ranch focuses on selling horses and milk the animals, they aren't regularly butchered. So there's no good reason why any of the tools will have fresh blood on them. Any such implement will have stood out like a sore thumb. Well, I guess that is a good point. I might have to rethink this. Couldn't Ingo have used dispositive? That's impossible, you see. Pero entonces la sierra, que no tenía nunca estado manchada de sangre, esa sí se podía limpiar y nadie lo detectó, pero las demás cosas no. ¿Qué ha pasado? Ha dicho. Hemos pasado sin más. No items from the ranch inventory list were missing, vale. And that list is indisputable. How can you be so sure the inventory is accurate? Bah, use your head. There was a royal visitation scheduled for that day. The ranch owner needed everything to be in order. He would have double, even triple checked that list when he wrote it. I suppose he would have, but... Supongo que Oil Bottle no estaba en el equipamiento, pero... Y esto es la Saw. La Wood Saws. Pues no sé qué quiere que le presente aquí. No items from the ranch inventory list were missing. That list is indisputable. ¿Lo es? Está firmada por Ingo. ¿Qué supone que tengo que presentar? El profile de Ingo. Vaya, no. Tengo que presentar la lista otra vez. Ahora ya me están obligando a hacer un save state, por si acaso. F5 save state, F7 cargar. Vale. The inventory list itself is false or fascinating. What exactly made you question the veracity of this document? That will be something about the inventory itself. It's simple. You only need a brief look at the inventory to see it can be trusted. Ojo, you can just go around making such general statement. Defense? Point out what exactly about the inventory makes it suspect. Just look here. The one who compiled this list was Ingo himself. He could have easily falsified the codes as part of his plan. That doesn't matter. Nothing could have left the ranch. Wouldn't Ingo have been able to just throw the item out over the fence? Bah, obviously we searched the perimeter of the ranch as well. Nothing was found anywhere. This is the most important point. Has nothing really been able to leave? Su traje. La leche. Supongo que la leche. Are you really sure nothing left the ranch? Pero la ranch la registraron y solo había leche. What about a few little shipments of milk? Preposterous, you have forgotten that such shipments have been checked by the Seiya force before they were allowed to leave? That's true, but there was a place the Sheikah could have overlooked. What in this name are you babbling about? We are talking about bogus standard crates here, boy. Not exactly vast dungeons full of nooks and crannies to stuff things into, are they? Dentro de la botella? Where could they say misses the murder weapon? It's simple, they overlooked the content of the bottles. Just rolling without running the shipments. Without running the shipments? Oh, that's right. Ingo put the murder weapon inside one of the bottles to conceal it from the search. That does seem plausible. Objection. Now, wait just a moment. A weapon in a milk bottle wouldn't have just gone unnoticed. Someone would have reported it. Pero, address incorrect. How can you be so sure? Do you even know how much milk an average milk bar uses each day? All those shipments have most certainly been completely used up by now. Someone drinking from a bottle would have found it for sure, choked on it even, if they took too large a swig. It would be a huge scandal. Well, he's right about that, but he's missing some vital information. Caso cerrado. You will be correct that the weapon showing up in someone's milkshake will cause quite a stir. If the milk ever actually made it to any milk bar, that is. You see, I overheard a very interesting tale during the recess. Word was sent from the ranch not long ago that one of the shipments was returned unopened due to being misaddressed. What? No! Indeed, if you recall, Indigo was the one who handled all of that. Now, that's strange. The ranch supplies the same milk bars every day. Even if he had messed up the street address a little, the couriers would have known where the shipment was meant to go. How could he have bungled it that badly? It's almost as if he didn't want anyone receiving a bottle of milk with a murder weapon in it. Whoa! I bet Ingo expected this box to stay in shipping limbo a while longer. How unfortunate for him that the postal service was on its game today. Maybe because they were worried it would start to smell. I believe this calls for us to investigate these boxes of milk more closely. Soldiers, have these boxes retrieved from the ranch immediately. Argument complete. Resucitado. Espero que esto se acabe ya, porque básicamente el caso ha sido resuelto. Que no me hagan estar aquí otra media hora sacando los detalles. This is Slender. Why would I kill Talon? Sure, he's a bit of a liability, but he did give me a job. Why would I want him dead? The motive? That's simple. Why, I'm surprised you are even asking about it. This evidence easily explains your motive. Tiene que ser esto, no puede ser otra cosa, pero... Malon will inherit the ranch if she is unable to divide the deed between the crown and the remaining employees. Que muera Talon no implica nada aquí, pero tiene que ser esa, no puede ser otra. The very inheritance document you brought to the court's attention states the following. In case of the testator's death, his daughter Malon Ranch will inherit the ranch, unless she is unable to oversee it, in which case it shall be divided between the crown and the remaining employees. Ah. Pero ella sí que puede... Ah, vale, porque sería ella la culpable. Decided to frame Malon for the crime as well, so you will be the one to inherit part of the ranch. That's why you volunteered to work in the silo all day. It gave you an alibi so that Malon will be the only possible culprit. Of course, you knew about the royal visitation in advance. You knew Malon will go back to the ranch house to prepare before they arrive. A perfect setup for the royals to find her next to the body. No! What are you talking about? Talon signing the ranch over to me? Preposterous. Did he really not know? I guess it was Dragmire who procured the actual document, not him. Your Honor. What is it, soldier? The box you requested is here. Already? That was quite fast. Apparently the team at the ranch had already noticed something awry with it on their own. The box arrived just as we were about to rush out a courier to deliver our message. Well, let's see for ourselves then, shall we? The part of the shipment that proves my case is... En la que tiene sangre, para que me hacen siquiera señalar esto. Here it is, from the bottle with a slight red tint to the milk. Looks like some kind of serrated knife. That explains the irregular wound pretty nicely. How could those shaky idiots have missed this? I'm sure the milk was pure white when they first checked it. It took a whole day for the blood to dissolve in it. Either way, no matter how you slice it, this proves my theory right. Oh, I've had it. Fine. You wanna know why? You wanna know why I really killed that scumbag? No, what are you... So you admit it? Yes, I admit it. What would you do if one day, after years of back-breaking labor, despite putting your all into the ranch, you were thrown away like rubbish without any reason, fired? Farewell, we don't need you anymore. What? But that doesn't make any sense. Jojo, don't lie. I heard it all. Pasarinho, ¿a dónde vas? I was just returning back from another day of spine-wrenching work and lo and behold, what's this? Malon and Talon are talking behind my back. I heard it all. We will let him go after the visitation. We can handle things without him. And so, after volunteering to work on that shipment, I quickly slipped out while the girl was busy and shanked the good-for-nothing slacker. Ha! You should have seen his face. He didn't expect it at all. So yes, Malon, I killed that lazy bum you called your father. And he deserved it. Dude. Order! The witness cease his boasting over such a terrible deed. I think we have had enough. Soldier, take him away. Wait just a moment. Ingo. Yes, girl? Want to apologize for what you have done? Apologize? Me? You're horrible. We were planning to fire you. We weren't planning to fire you at all. You completely misunderstood what we were saying. What? We've had so much work recently. Well, you know how it goes with the royal visits. Always a busy time. Gotta make sure everything's in tip-toe shape. I do worry so much about old Ingo though. He's been complaining about his back recently. Do wish he would take a step back and relax sometime. Maybe we should convince him to take a vacation? No, there's an idea. It will do him good. I will discuss it with him after the visitation. After things calm down, we can handle everything without him. Había un poco más de conversación que mencionó él, pero ok. You were planning what? A vacation for me? And I did? No, it can't be so. Please say this isn't so. ¿Está alucinando o qué? Cómo se ceban con su entrepierna. We have witnessed today the results of a truly horrifying misunderstanding. But misunderstanding or not, what you have done isn't forgivable. Bueno, hay algo aquí que no encaja mucho o es tremenda casualidad, y es que la chica llegase con una sierra en la mano y se desmayase justo al lado del cadáver. Eso no estaba planeado. ¿Y cómo iban a framear a la chica si no fuese por eso? Un poco pillado ahí al final. Talon was a kind man, beloved by all who had the good fortune to cross his path. His loss will be felt not only at his ranch, but all across Hyrule. The killer turned out to be an utterly pathetic man with delusions of grandeur. I mean, look at him. An utter idiot dressed like a clown. Geez, he's really lying into him. I bet he's just as upset because he lost. The prosecution's rant aside, I think it is time to declare today's verdict. This is just a formality, but will the defendant please step up to the stand? Young miss, I am very sorry for the situation you have found yourself in. I am very glad you appear to have such a good attorney as a friend. I wouldn't have chosen anyone else. Oh, thanks. Now then, without further ado, in the name of Goddess Helia and the sacred land of Hyrule, I hereby find Malon of London Ranch not guilty. Court is adjourned. We did it. I suppose so. I guess Ingo's outburst kind of soured the mood, huh? I don't think I can ever forgive Mr. Ingo for what he's done. That's fair enough, honestly. Really though, you shouldn't think about that for now. You are free, it's time to celebrate. I guess you're right. Excellent work. I knew you would pull through. Oh, thanks. I couldn't have done it without you, really, so thank you. Now, that's not quite right. If you want to thank someone, I'm not the one who deserves it the most. Huh? Your Highness? I thought you were going back to the Hyrule Castle. What strings did Impa have to pull to get her here? But I realized I should apologize for what I did personally. It's an honor. There is no need to bow. Not after what I have done. Really, if not for your status, I would have probably been charted off to prison alongside that angry little man. Perjury is pretty serious, so that's probably not entirely wrong. As usual, you don't give yourself enough credit, Your Highness. How can you say that, detective? I almost condemned an innocent person to prison. Yes, there are some things you should think twice about doing in the future. But it's all thanks to you that the young lady over here finally went free. Huh? Come on, attorney, show Her Highness what I'm talking about. Supongo que es esto lo que quieren que le enseñe. The bottle. Well, it's true. Without this... que se acabó el pájaro. Without this and without knowing about the fire, we wouldn't have had any proof to substantiate our claims. And really, your obviously false testimony had shoved. Impa just stepped on my foot. Well, there you have it. In any case, I'm sure Miss Malon isn't too upset. Well, sure. Then hot. We have orders to escort the princess back to the castle immediately. Just in time. Farewell, Your Highness. And so they left. Now then, listen to me. I know that I am perhaps being too lenient on the princess, but though times are ahead, the princess will need all the confidence she can get to lead the kingdom through them. She needs to learn to take responsibility for her actions too, though. And she will. Huh? Her Highness is in for a rather unpleasant afternoon today, I imagine. The urgency with which she has just been escorted out of here isn't coincidental. What? Is the king going to scold her? At the very least. Now then, my duty is called, unfortunately, so I must be off. Again, you did well today, both of you. I trust that I will be able to rely on you in future court proceedings as well. I'll try my best. That's all I ask. That unpleasant prosecutor seems to be making his way over here, so I will be excusing myself post-haste. Farewell. Oh. You! Hello, nice day we're having, isn't it? Tell me, now, where did that bastard detective go? To have my reputation tarnished this way by some novice attorney from the boonies? Dramatic much? He looks about ready to burst from anger. Don't be such a sore loser. You lost. Deal with it. Yeah, we got the right verdict. Doesn't that make you even a little bit glad? Yes, I suppose there is some worth in that. What transpired is most unfortunate. I can only offer my condolences. Just remember that it was the meddling of that idiotic princess and the stupidity of that blasted detective that led to your arrest. So if you have any grievances, take it up with them. I suppose there is some truth to that, to what he's saying. Speaking of the detective, it appears she has fled from me like a cuckoo on fire. Mark my words, she will regret what she's done for generations. Well, that sure was something. I don't know if he was being sincere or just wanted to shift blame onto someone else. I wouldn't say he's entirely blameless. Never mind that. Do you think you will be alright running the ranch by yourself? Of course I come visit, but I have my attorney's duties, so... I will get in touch with the castle, see if they can spare some men to work at the ranch. Silly as my father might have seemed, he really did prepare me to take over one day, and he's taught me well. I'll make sure the animals are well cared for, just as I always have. That's the spirit. I believe in you. I really want to thank you for bringing the truth to light. If it wasn't for you, I don't even want to think about what could have happened. Don't mention it. I'm just glad everything worked out in the end. And so ended a very personal case for me. It felt like a weight had been lifted off my back. Malin continued working at the ranch, hoping to make it prosper even beyond what her father was able to accomplish. I didn't really think much about it, but the days following were some of the happiest I had lived for a long time. Little did I know that a terrible tragedy will soon shock the entire kingdom, and I will find myself smack dab in the middle of it. But that's a legend for another day. Tremendo trabajo, exquisitamente hecho, muy currado todo. El único problema es que el caso no era muy interesante. La verdad es que la segunda mitad del juego se ha hecho un poco cuesta arriba y terminarlo por llegar hasta el final. Pero para ser una broma, se lo han trabajado un montón, todos los detalles están ahí. Está increíble como mod de la room, ¿cómo se llama? Room hack. Como room hack, grandioso. Aprecio que dijesen, vamos a hacer esto realidad. En serio. ¿Qué se supone que es ese bicho? Uno de los desarrolladores. Al no proporcionar la ROM, Nintendo no los puede bajar. En principio no. La ROM la pones tú. Ganan tocándose el órgano al final. Más largos los créditos de lo que esperaba, la verdad. Me gasté todo mi comentario al principio. Visitando la tumba del padre. Agradecimientos especiales a los creadores de Zelda. Y a mí, por supuesto, salgo en los créditos de este juego confirmado. Se acabó. Deja tu like y suscríbete. Y ahí cortamos. Select is now unlocked. Ok. Extra 1. No voy a ver los extra 1, la verdad, no vamos a ver los extra 1. He tenido suficiente. Uf, se ha hecho tarde. Un momentito. Supongo que, o sea, cortar ya las 12 de la noche. ¿Cuánto tiempo ha durado esto? 2 horas, más la otra hora de antes, 3 horas en total, joder. Entonces, ¿es verdad que Jaime Altozano ha hecho un vídeo de ambidextro? Y se está poniendo algo por aquí. ¿Puedo pasarme un videojuego con un piano? Ah, vale, vale. Pensaba que hablaría de la música o algo. Interesante. Ahora luego le echo un ojo. Pues nada, gente. Espérate, ¿tenemos a alguien a quien hacerle una raid? Lois de Fazouro. Como siempre, wow. Tremendo... No me sale la palabra. Filtro que tiene en la cara. Gracias a todos por venir a verme una vez más. Gracias especiales a los que me habéis dado dinero. Si no ocurre ninguna desgracia, nos vemos mañana. Ups. Adiós.